Okay, so I've got a fascinating video for you guys today. This is something I've been following for a couple of years now. I have done one video on this, but it was merely to translate some English information into Spanish. And it's regarding the QFS. I don't know how many of you people are familiar with this, the quantum financial system. Um, the reason I haven't really done any videos, proper videos on this, is just because the information is still very much circulating in sort of underground alternative conspiracy circles and nothing more. So it's hard to really get a grasp on whether this is something that's actually going on. I do have some sort of connections um, that confirm that this is going ahead, and I do have reason to believe that it is happening. But I don't want to be another one of these people saying my sources say, and you just have to believe me. So I just haven't been going down that route. I've had my attention brought to these guys, Foster Swiss. Very interesting website they have. I urge you to check it out. And they say that they are an international private banking consultant. Foster Swiss is a Swiss international consultancy based in Madrid, Barcelona and Geneva with top-level offices, which provides its services to the Spanish-speaking world market. Our scope of action operates in the financial, tax and legal areas, whether for individuals or companies. So they sort of deal in offshore bank accounts, offshore companies, international tax planning, and all the sort of good loopholes that wealthy people take advantage of to protect their goods and money. So yeah, private banking consultancy, company structures. Very interesting web page. It's in some five different languages. So you just have a look at their web page and see everything that's here and what they're into, and you can see that these are pretty serious people. These aren't conspiracy theorists. These are people very much involved in private banking, international banking, and whatnot. So you can imagine my surprise when I had my attention brought to this article that they've published. Everything you need to know about the new financial system, QFS, Quantum Financial System. Now, no one really of any repute is talking about this yet. So this is quite surprising that they have written a whole article about this, and it's not very long, so I'm going to read the whole article to you because I think it's fascinating. So a lot of this information is stuff that, if you have looked into the QFS, you will for the most part know about, but once again, it's kind of high level insider confirmation of the fact more than anything else. So it reads, housed in a quantum computer, it is housed in the AIIB, Asian Investments Infrastructure Bank, the eastern counterpart of the International Monetary Fund, of the IMF and the World Bank, and 9 quantum satellites. Now, the AIIB, this was some years ago set up, and it's related to the BRICS banking alliance. So there's some years we saw a sort of the beginning of a division between the central bank, the sort of Rothschild monopoly central banking system, and a new alliance of people who weren't following that route anymore. So one of those is the AIIB, which are related to the BRICS, the Brazil, Russia, India, China alliance, banking alliance. I do believe if you look on the World Bank website and stuff, they're talking about their own world Great Reset, which is I think there seem to be two power structures trying to pull off the same thing. One in the interest of globalism and a one world dictatorship type tyranny, and the other in the name of equality and economic fairness and turning over the page from 1,000 years or more of fraudulent banking, really. So, to connect the QFS with the SWIFT and SIP system, an interface called DLT, Distributed Ledger Technology, has been implemented. The QFS is a financial system created by Chinese engineering teams in collaboration with the engineering teams of other members of the alliance. Interesting that they use this word, which once again has usually been used in more sort of conspiracy patriot circles of, the alliance and the cabal. The cabal being the Rothschild-headed 13 Venetian families, Rockefeller, Gateses, Soros, and all these guys who are intent on a sort of a dystopic globalist agenda, and the alliance, who are sort of patriots and freedom-loving people who are looking for a different sort of future for humanity, one in which freedom and equality and abundance and all those good things are what we should be heading towards and what we should be manifesting in our future. So one of its main characteristics is that bankers will not be able to access any of these funds without the permission of the Global Guarantee Account supervisors. A system whose purpose is replace central banking and cover the new global network for the transfer of gold or asset-backed money initiated by Russia and China to replace the SWIFT system controlled by the United States. It should be noted that the QFS is completely independent from the existing centralized system. In your case, no need for blockchain technology, which has cast doubt on the need for cryptocurrencies. Coins backed by gold or other assets. With this quantum financial system, all sovereign currencies are backed by gold or assets, which will ensure their sustainability. It is important to note that the QFS has been operating in parallel to the central banking system in recent times, avoiding in turn hacking attempts to steal funds, which once again coincides with a lot of the more sort of alternative information that was saying that from the 1st of October of this year, the QFS was online and operational. And the SWIFT is slowly being disconnected from it. There is some doubt as whether it's been completely disconnected yet, or it's running at a sort of 5% capacity or something like this. But it's slowly being disengaged, it seems. This quantum computer system assigns a digital number to each currency found in every bank account around the world and monitors it in real time. You know exactly where it went, when it was transferred, who sent it with your login information, and which account received it. A new system that was invented to end financial slavery and control over the population. Tremendously novel, that has no advanced technology equivalent in any previous system, and where the world's monetary system can be easily changed to encompass gold-backed currencies that completely eliminate the need to transfer from the old central banking system. Maximum security, impossible to steal. It should be noted that only gold or asset-backed currencies that have a digital gold or asset certificate can be transferred via the QFS. The certificate refers to a serial number on a piece of gold or an asset held in reserve to back the coin. State-of-the-art technologies are used to quarantine the gold and or assets used to back the currencies without the possibility that they could be stolen. Assets are the justification for establishing the amount of currency available in a country, but all currency denominations must be accepted within the QFS, and an asset gold certificate must be issued for it to be active within the QFS. Keep in mind that any fiat currency that cannot be designated as clean, clear, non-terrorist, or that does not clearly come from legal activities is disqualified, which are most, if not all, fiat currencies. In fact, fiat currencies cannot be legalized in the QFS. The fiat currencies that were already in possession at the time of the large-scale implementation of the QFS, received while doing legal business, will be exchanged for gold-backed currencies at the bank. The procedure here is called conciliation and qualifies the money transfer as legal or illegal, and will be carried out by AI, artificial intelligence, which is another thing that the alternative news sources have been talking about, this all being based on a sort of super blockchain system guided by some sort of artificial intelligence and run on a system of quantum computers, which is what it appears to be and what they're making reference to in this article as well. The role of each country. Any country that does not comply with the Global Economic Security and Reform Act, GESARA, is excluded from the QFS and will eventually be left out of all international trade. Now, another fascinating thing is that they're actually making reference to GESARA here, which once again, this has been something that's been spoken about in conspiracy circles and this sort of thing. A lot of questions as to the veracity of it. It apparently grew out of NISARA, which is the National Economic Security and Reform Act, which started in the US and which then became GESARA as it became a global theme. But GESARA is a series of sort of worldwide legislations that will effectively do away with the fraudulent private central banking system that we've been submitted to for far too long. It will do away with the majority of taxes, apparently leaving just a small sales tax on new luxury items and doing away with pretty much all other taxes. It will be infusing societies and economies with massive amounts of real wealth, which for the most part have been, hidden away in offshore and even off-screen, back-screen banking accounts. Trillions of dollars of wealth that have been sequestered away from humanity. So GESARA is apparently the series of legislations, worldwide legislations, that will level the playing field and turn this world into an abundant and fair place to live once and for all. So amazing once again that these guys are actually referencing GESARA. Each country must comply with GESARA to participate in the QFS. The alliance will use a specific quantitative formula to establish the amount of currency available in a country, which must be backed by gold in the QFS. The results of the formula will establish a fair value of the assets of each country compared to another. There is much more gold than necessary to achieve the gold endorsement of all the world's currencies. Once established through the GCR, once again, this is the global currency reset, another term. This is the moment that the world's currencies all become revalued and our economic system becomes reset, the QFS becomes activated, and we go from one fraudulent system to a new, fairer, transparent, level playing field, level economic playing field, the global currency reset. So once established through the global currency reset, the price of gold will become irrelevant. If the price of gold goes up, the value of all coins will also go up, which will not generate a net change in the face value of all currencies. The formula includes assets on the ground, the country's economy, its population, which is one of the country's assets, and a number of other parameters to determine the value of the country's currency. This formula should be applied to each country so that all currencies are on a par with the other countries. Applying the formula and the common value of all gold means that the currency of one country must have the same value as the currency of another country. So once again, the QFS, the global currency reset, one of its aims is to create a certain par between currencies and do away with all this these currency wars and these currency advantages or disadvantages from one country to another, which only makes trade more difficult. And this, once again, is a leveling of the playing field, so that all currencies are pretty much on a par. They're all tagged to real assets, gold, the country's economy, the population. So, as I understand it from alternative sources, there have been massive audits going on, worldwide audits, finding out the value of each society, what they have, the population size, and basically pinning this value to their currency. So this is really fascinating, and it's really amazing that someone like Foster Swiss is now openly talking about the QFS, the GCR, the global currency reset, GESARA, and all of these terms that have previously been sort of only spoken about in hushed tones in conspiracy groups and whatnot. So it looks like this is finally coming to light, and there seems to be a certain disclosure coming to people about this change of economic monetary system that we seem to be right in the midst of. So I'll leave the link for this below, and you can all check it out yourself and look at Foster Swiss and have a little look at their credentials. But yeah, magnificent news. Hallelujah.